Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. It's time for newspaper review.
And we are glad to have Chukwudi Okolugbaja back here this morning. Apparently, he must have listened to us yesterday to edit what it's.
Chooks, tell us.
Flipping the headlines yesterday.
You know you're a great girl.
Where did you...
Please let Mr. Abdul Razak make a pardon
What
me.
did you say?
Great girl, any day. Yes.
Where did you go yesterday?
Where did I? No, I had a tummy trouble.
What did you eat?
I think it was a function of eating rather late. I woke at night a lot. That was what happened.
Are you sure?
But I'm happy to
You've not answered his
Was
question.
it flatulence?
His question is, what did you eat?
What did I eat?
Yes.
No. It's
Yes.
late eating rather than time of eating rather than what I ate.
Does
That's
that
the
answer
point.
his question?
You have not answered the question.
Exactly.
What
And
did
that
you
is simple.
eat?
That is how we feel jam.
I'm telling you what you should have asked me.
No, not what you should.
No.
You should anyway.
What did you eat?
I know the source of your rebellion. God bless Arsenal. Chelsea, you're not coming up in the next 5 years, not even top 4. I know why you're doing this to me, but I will always triumph
And I know
because
you
he
said
lives.
We demolished.
We killed them dead.
Yeah, so
In the absence of the Super Eagles making me happy, I run to England. And the Emirates offers me
you have taken
complete shelter.
You have taken a
But you
minute
see,
from your
look,
time.
you still have Barcelona to contend with.
Yes.
You have Inter to contend
Chelsea
with.
fans are
And you have-
always good at arranging calamity for Arsenal. They carry a death wish against Arsenal.
Gentlemen, can we? That's not on the frontline pages this morning.
He shook the world yesterday, including Nigeria. He said no, the front line.
All right, let's begin with Daily Times. The Daily Times has on its front page, Tinubu tasks experts on roadmap for first digital census in 18 years. Again, the first digital census in 18 years. That's quite interesting. Sounds quite interesting. TSA reps order financial tech firm Remita to refund over 182 billion naira to federal government. I'll take that again. TSA reps order financial tech firm Remita to refund over 182 billion naira to the federal government. This story, it's on page 12. Nigeria, this says constitute special commission of inquiry on NNPCL's activities under Kyari. Coalition urges Tinubu. That's also on the front page there. And let's take this one just above the nameplate. Court voids Obasa's removal as Speaker, declares action unconstitutional. That's all we can take from the Daily Times, an old newspaper. Used to be one of my favorites back then. I don't know about Chukwudi, and Chukwudi should be of The Guardian. Let's take a look at what's trending on the front page of the Blueprint. NSIA assets increase from 2.26 trillion naira to 4.42 trillion, ready to withstand global tariff headwinds. That sounds quite pleasant. Plateau, Borno, Benue attacks don't provide terrorists oxygen to breathe. Federal government tells the media. Don't provide terrorists oxygen to breathe. Reaffirms commitment to tackling insecurity. Mufang bans night grazing in Plateau. Man freed after 17 years in detention over stored murder trial. It's on page 6. Fubara yet to apologize to me, says Wiki. It's on page 6. Fubara yet to apologize to me, says Wiki on page 6. So Basat's removal, I said that once. as Lagos Speaker Unconstitutional Court declares, and JAM raises fraud alert, clarifies misleading report. That's to 2025 UTME. And quickly, certainly last but not the least, 15 million Nigerians at risk of flood disasters in 2025, and that warning is coming from Vice President Shettima. All right.
Okay, I have the Daily Trust newspaper with me, and just below the nameplate, we have CPC Group affirms loyalty to APC, Tinubu amid defection speculations. That story can be found on page 13. Filling stations yet to adjust as Dangote reduces petrol price again. Details of that story can be found on page 23. EFCC launches manhunt for CBEX promoters, vows to recover investors' money. That's a story on page 10. Federal government makes peace move to Niger Republic. Toga meets with country's delegation in Niamey. Details of that story can be found on page 3 and 4. Villagers flee as gunmen attack Benue communities again. Details of that story can be found on page 6. Boko Haram kills 6 in attacks on Adamawa communities. 2027 will ride any vehicle that guarantees good governance. Atiku. The details can be found on page 12. 36 cows killed, 42 poisoned in Plateau as governor bans night grazing. The details on page 31. And Leadership newspaper, just above that nameplate, we have Tinubu gives census panel 3 weeks to submit report. Details on page 18. Reps invite Ibas over state of affairs in Rivers State. Details of that story can be found on page 20. Tariff war. Nigeria others may face budget constraints. World Bank. Details on page 7. Killings. Federal government restate commitment to ending insecurity. Details of that story can be found on page 18. Ahead of 2027, wrangling within PDP unsettles Atiku supporters. Details of that story can be found on page 4. Terrorist kills 7 in fresh Adamawa attack. Details on page 6. Plateau governor bans night grazing. Details on page 6. Dangote cuts petrol price to 835 naira per litre. Chooks. Yeah, I know you'll be
when I
happy with
gave
that.
him the alias Dangi Baba the other time,
Then Kaduna IDPs cry out over hardship. Page 4. Okay,
Dangi
Chooks.
Baba, it will go further down. Thank you for supplying that word. Let me start. We shouldn't come here all the time, talk as if we are holier than everybody around. They're asking us not to provide terrorists oxygen to breathe. I've not read the full story. But you see, I keep on reminding my fellow editors that how you say it matters a lot. I remember those days in Benin City when Usumbo and Anini were on the rampage. And the Observer, these other newspapers will come with daredevil robbers today raided the number 5, blah, 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 blah. It was bolstering their psyche. It was making them feel impregnable. It was making them feel invincible. That's it. So it matters how you address a criminal situation. It matters a lot. What's in the language you use? Everything is in the language you use. Mm-hmm. When you come, for instance, I was one of those who were firing, criticism on people who were talking about unknown gunmen. When you do unknown gunmen, you're telling the police by implication, don't even go looking after them. They are spirits. You can't find them. Who says they're not known? Everybody knows. Many people know those people. It's just that the right questions have not been asked yet. So we must make sure that we do not do anything in our write-ups, in our broadcasts, that make the job even more tedious for security personnel. I didn't read the story in full, but I needed to.
Let me provide you with what the Minister of Information and National Orientation said.
Yes.
And this was at the forum he attended here in Lagos. I think it's at the Quarterly Media Stakeholders Seminar 2025, organized by the Directorate of Defense Media Operations.
Yes.
And he said, and this is a summary of what he said, conversely, what the media must not amplify in the spirit of unity and national cohesion is negative rhetorics that trail communal clashes as seen in recent situations.
Oh, okay.
1. 2, insecurity and terrorism are not uniquely Nigerian challenges. And
Yes.
he said, beyond the reportage of the incidents, national security is a collective responsibility. So the media
Yes.
must play a pivotal role in educating the public and encouraging them to volunteer timely and useful information.
Actually, it was multifaceted. But what he's talking about here is, I mean, it actually touches on what we drop regularly in class. If you go to report a crisis in a community, and following your report, more carnage happens, what kind of reporter would you call yourself? So they're asking you to make sure that even when you report, social responsibility must accompany it.
Responsive,
national interest as well. That's it.
And responsive journalism.
Don't make it worse for the people because you want to say the way it happened.
You see,
very important.
I had a conversation with the director of the Defense Information. You know, reporting this area, security.
Yes.
It's not like every other, just like, judiciary.
Yes.
It requires certain technique and it requires expertise and training.
You need to know what you're reporting.
Exactly, and you need to know.
It's not like general reporting.
Not general reporting.
It's not.
So those who are on that field need constant training and exposure, and they also need to have this trust. I mean, the military would also have to have trust in those reporters because these are sensitive, issues you're putting out.
So before they can give you.
I've always been afraid of judiciary stories. The only time you will see Chukwudi is when he wanted to demonstrate his pronunciation proficiency. Locus standi, I'm not locus standi. Sub judice, I'm not sub judice. Now there you go hear Chukwudi. But the real reporting itself, I know Sabian. So what you just said is very important, my dear. Very important.
All right.
Yes.
Very important. Quickly, 36 cows killed, 42 poisoned as Mutfwang bans night grazing. There is more trouble even as there have been so many casualties. It tells you the solution has not yet been found. Whatever actions we're taking, let it be one that speeds up the process of people who should be living together peacefully, coming together indeed. Because this bloodletting cannot continue. It cannot. It doesn't make sense anymore. Yeah, Claire.
Yesterday, Sule Sani, that joined us from Jos, said something which I think it's very fundamental in resolving or even in decision making as regards the issues in the North Central states. And I remember Sani saying, whatever the governor of Plateau State, the current governor, is doing, he must ensure inclusivity. He must ensure that every, person involved, all he has the buy-in of all those people. So in implementing grazing, I do hope that it's a collective decision. Because otherwise, another issue we raise.
Exactly, Claire, that's the point. And it's such a lovely place. When I was there for 4 years on behalf of a TV station, the regular song I was always belching out from my West of Mines residence. Oh, Plateau, it was their promotion on the radio. But then, oh, Plateau, it was sweet. In Jos, you do not need to prove anything to anybody. Plateau people are peace-loving people.
And if you remember in those days, Demola, I know you know this very well, what, in terms of arts and, drama, you can't take it away from
They
from
had
Jos.
everything.
They had it.
Everything.
Then the weather.
The weather
Very
too.
peaceful. It used to be the most peaceful state in the
I saw apple at a filling station. Apple grows there. It's a wonderful place. Let them please come together. Whether you are the so-called indigenous settler, all that, forget it. It's human arrangement. That's what it is. Let people come
So you
together.
have Dangote cut petrol price.
Yeah, they say it might actually drop to 800 naira per liter.
It's 835 naira.
It's 835.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that it's likely to go to 800 naira per liter, and that makes me happy.
All right, they'll tell you his market forces.
You left your jalopy in Lagos, so it doesn't really matter. Not Maurice Minor, they drive.
Please don't refer to Chukwudi. See,
I came here to find trouble.
Yeah, that's a story. Man freed after, Chukwudi, what do you think?
What?
Man freed after 17 years in detention over stalled murder trial.
Over what?
Stalled murder
Stalled
trial.
murder trial.
Yes.
But was he really the one who committed the crime? Because that's the one that actually rents
Well, the trial
your
was
heart.
stalled.
It was
After-
stalled,
yes.
it was delayed, but was he a criminal? Did he have a hand in homicide?
If he was freed.
Yes.
Like you said, this is a judicial matter. We don't know. But what we are looking at, we are
Yeah.
reading it
Yes.
as journalists. If he was freed after 17 years in detention
Yeah.
with a stalled murder trial,
I-
then there's a cartoon here which says, then he deserves a restitution.
I don't know whether it was human error, but you would agree with me that a man whose trial was stalled for how many years has had almost 1/3 of his life messed up.
Chukwudi, when we get to the end of the story, he will know more than you do know now.
I saw it on the under the masthead of one of those papers.
Okay, thank you.
That's his way of kicking me out politely. He doesn't like me.
Thank you. We'll take a break now. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.